It's my pleasure to welcome you once again to this episode of You and I. My name is Chioma John. Today we want to talk about the economy. Yes, it is the system of trade and industry whereby the wealth of a country or region is used or made. Hence today we want to look at how to cope with this harsh economy. You can agree with me that it has not been that easy. How do we cope? Last year, we were buying a bag of rice at 8,000. Today, it's 46,000. A liter of fuel, 100 and something, now 300. A chicken that you and your family will enjoy at 5,000. Then you will enjoy it. Today, 15,000, 12,000. If I can continue counting and counting. Today, we want to look at how we can cope with this harsh economy. So I am not here alone. I have my guests. They are marriage counselors. So I want you to join me as I welcome them to this program today. From my immediate right, I have Deacon Stephen Thompson.
Welcome. I appreciate.
You're welcome. And then next to him is Pastor Mrs. Grace Eze.
God bless you.
I'm glad to have you as my guest today. We are here to look at how we can cope with this harsh economy.
Well, as a father of a house, mainly, the burden of funding the home and paying bills mainly on the men. Although the women also have sisters who are working and doing business. But the primary responsibility of the father of the house is to provide, shelter, food, and clothing. It's actually challenging out there. We're all aware. We are around in the country, even globally. Yes. I think the World Bank or IMF, if I'm not mistaken, predicted that this year there will be 1/3 of global economy will go into a recession. So it appears gloomy out there, and even within our environment and country. So what I will really say there is that. Where you are faced with tough times, you have to take tough measures. Basically, you have to work within your ability. Oftentimes, we try to live beyond our income. That's part of the challenge. Now that even the salary cannot take you home, I think what they need to do, you do the basic thing, the things that you need, not the extravagancies, the excess spending should be cut, and the basic things. Ensure that it's food in the house, pay the nursery bill within your income. Things the luxury that you used to, take care of or do in the past or get involved in the past, just shut it off.
And when you talk about the salary, putting into consideration that for some years now, most people's salaries are just static.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yes, the truth is that the income is always static. The issue that I think the best way to go about it is just do what you can afford to do, or else you get into depression or get high blood pressure, and then you will die, and life will go on. So just work within your means, and then explain to the family, tell them the situation, so that if the children are younger, and then the woman of the house, who is a home manager, should be able to cooperate with the bank, whatever she also do in her own way, if she's a businesswoman or she's a working class, whatever she can do to contribute, to helping the home go forward. The issue of being stingy, this is my own and you hide it, as most women do, that time is gone. Support the man, because the man has to be alive to be your husband and to be the father of your children. So in essence, everybody, both the children, the mother of the house, everybody's hands will be on deck to ensure that, the income of the family is properly managed within their ability and their resources, so that they don't get themselves worked up. Because the truth there is that if you begin to think about the situation, you will just, die quickly.
That's what we are saying now is how to overcome it.
Yes.
Okay.
When you're talking about harsh economy, you're talking about unpleasant economy, difficult things are really difficult now. So I think, like he said difficult situations require difficult measures. I think this time around, women in the family have a major role to play. So women put much pressure on the man. In as much as the man is the head of the family, the man is providing. The woman and the family should be able to manage the little resources coming in. understood. The person should understand that it's not really easy for this man.
When you are talking about management, to manage what comes, as a woman, sometime last year, by this time last year, some years back, you can go to the market, come back, prepare beautiful thing for the family. I want you to really spell it out.
That is why I said we should really cut down on things. There are some things we can do as women. Now, we may not be able to get the things that the family was taking or are used to because of the resources available. We can go on vegetables. Vegetables, with the little money coming into the family, you can get the vegetables, and then with little things you add to it is good to go. Sometimes the chicken, if the family is used to eating chicken and we cannot afford chicken at this time, we go for eggs. I still think it will go a long way. And then we should also look into the schools we fix our children into. If we cannot afford that high school they've always admired, or the school they are in right now, we can look for the schools around the whole.
Do you really consider class? Before you enroll your children to any school, your class, and you have your friends. Even not just women, even men. And now, are you trying to let your friends, your relatives, or your neighbors to understand that your system, that you are no longer at that level?
In that so recent economy, I think we shouldn't do things to please people. Whatever you can afford and is good for the family. There are still schools that are around the house which their education standard is okay. It doesn't matter the school that maybe your friends' children are going to and all that. You can look for the school you can easily afford. The one that you don't have to stay awake overnight thinking of the school fees and all that. Let's try and cut down some costs. And then for those in the university, if you cannot afford the private university or the state one, we can go for the federal university.
Do you also consider the rate strikes in the country?
Yes.
This strike affects our children. Most times you see parents taking their children to private universities. It's not necessary that they want it that way, but you see your child that is supposed to have a 4 years course, being in a high institution for 6 years, 7 years. That's one of the reasons most parents or some parents take their children to private university. A situation like that, would you prefer your child being in a high institution for decades?
I think the issue there is ability.
Yes.
You should be able to get into a venture, a project that is affordable within your means. It's unnecessary competition, especially in some part of the country. When you talk about harbor cities like Port Harcourt, Lagos, and Abuja, a lot of competition. Some of the things you still get in these so-called high schools and all that, you still get them outside some other states, at cheaper price.
Yes,
sometimes it's unnecessary competition.
Yes,
I think what is important is for us to go what is necessary, not for unnecessary competition. Because the truth there is that some people live first life, and this is not to live first life. Live within your ability and be happy with yourself. But the truth there is that, at the end of the day, if you get yourself messed up, it's you that will suffer it and your family that will suffer it. So, and those people who you think you want to compete with, who are influencing you, they will not be there for you when the chips are down. So just live a normal life. Don't get yourself worked up unnecessarily. And make yourself happy with what you have. So the truth there is that sometimes, if you have traveled to some of these African countries outside Nigeria, where they live very moderate lives, especially like Ghana, I used to go to Ghana severally before, these government came to power and things just went to be haywire. The Ghanaians live a very moderate life. They don't go into all these bogus way of eating, ishewu, stockfish, everything gongo nango. No, they live a very simple life. Where they get their funfun, their cassava, their corn, put it together, simple soup and all that. And they're happy, they're good to go. But here, if you don't go and arrange all the, all the so-called...
How will people then know that you can afford this if you don't go for it?
No, what is important is just eat healthy. For goodness sake, eat healthy. Like Madam said, vegetables. Just get the vegetables. Get, if it is some a cup or whatever. So basic things. Can get. It's another issue of, you see, this issue of nutrition is not bound to a particular item. That you can still get protein, from egg. Just like you can get it from meat or fish and all that. So you look at this and then pick things like your income, they can still nourish you. And not go for this bogus lifestyle, have to be cow head, cow leg, stockfish and all those crazy stuffs. Just maintain what you can afford and then be happy with yourself. Because tomorrow is going to be beautiful. Life is not static. It will be challenging now. We trust God that a new government will come and things will get better. And then you can live your bogus life as you get more income.
Mm-hmm. Before the new government comes. Some parents do it.
Yes.
I remember a few years ago, a young man around, things changed. God just changed his story. I saw his packaging and that of his children. It was okay. But I noticed he started inculcating something into the children, that our level is no longer what it used to be. Assuming you have already done that and your children have seen themselves that they are higher than these people, we cannot be at the same place with these people. And now the economy is harsh. How can you bring out these children from that mentality?
Every day we learn and we unlearn, yeah. We learn and we unlearn. The same way you put in there, you made them want to understand that your level has changed. You can also call them and tell them that things are not really working the way the way you expected.
Is that?
I think sometimes we have an attitudinal problem, Nigerians. This issue of unnecessary competition and class stuff. That's why you discover that oftentimes children of the wealthy, are very responsible. The orientation they have from the parents, over pam them, give them what they don't actually need, and so just make the children understand that life is dynamic. Create that notion that they should live a simple, humble lifestyle, even when they have. It shouldn't be advertised. So what I mean, in essence, is that orientation of trying to create a class, pride, unnecessary, looking down on people is the wrong way of children. Because the truth there is that when you allow a child understands that greatness comes from, little beginning, that child will grow up respecting everybody, knowing that life can turn around. Some of the great names you hear today, we are nobodies, their family bank are very low one. So, so when you bring them that way, when you then tell them, please, things have changed, you guys should be aware of what time they come, they will, just fit in. They will just, because that's your upbringing. You already taught them how to, understand how the dynamics of life. So when you tell them that the game have changed, they will understand. But when you just give this notion, you are in a particular class, you're on top of the world, everybody around you is nobody. So you will find it difficult to bring them back because you've already trained them with that mindset. So you have a lot of work to rearrange them, to be able to rewire their mentality and attitude to fit the reality. And so you discover some of those children that begin to revolt against the. Why will you begin to buy iPhone for a teenager? A teenager is maybe in university. You are giving him or her so much allowance she does not need. The basic allowance, for goodness sake. And you give her so much money, she has to go to clubs. She has to go to club and then take drugs. So tomorrow you come and say, please, I can't afford. They will give a hell of trouble. So most of the problem is some of our wealthy Nigerian parents, some of them are very funny the way they bring up their children, and it's making go really negative for them. If you check clearly, most of these children who are juveniles, who are into drugs and all this criminal activity, and all that, check most of them actually of the wealthy, because they have so much money that they don't need.
If you are just joining us, this is you and I, and we are looking at how to cope with this harsh economy. We shall be going on break, but the time will come back, we'll actually continue, and I guess you are really following us.
As a social institution, the family is a universal or near universal phenomenon. You and I, as a program, enable families find solutions to the parenting and relationship challenges they face and to grow in confidence to manage future difficulties. Stay tuned as you discover various ways to handling family matters, restoring peace and bringing the family together, because you and I can make the world a better place, letting love rule.
Welcome back. You really touched somewhere, but I don't know if we're going to that side now, how it is going to be. You already made your child to understand those who are not in the high institution. You have your house up. They don't do anything at home. The house does everything, virtually everything. And now maybe not actually has, or you have a nanny that you pay, but because of harsh economy of this, you are trying to stop, but you cannot stop it. How? Okay. What steps do we take?
It's always good to call these children. Let them know what you can afford. Something happened during the Xmas. During this last break, one of my son came first position, and before then I told him I'll buy you a bicycle. So the day we went to buy the bicycle, we went to ShopRite, and then we're looking at the price tag. We saw a particular bicycle. The price was like 125,000. And he said something. He said, "Mommy, you cannot afford this one. I know. We will not go for this one. Let's go for the one that's around your shop. That one is 30,000 naira." So let them understand what you can do. And immediately we left the place. So let them understand what we the can afford at a particular time. So we really need to call our children, talk to them. The ones that you cannot afford, make them to understand that you cannot afford it. So we really have to talk to our children. And the ones you're talking about, you made a point about nanny. Let them learn how to do the things in the house. There are things they can do at night before going to school the next morning. There are the ones they can do early morning before going to the school. Let them know how to do it and learn how to do it.
Coming back to feeding, there are some men that cannot eat without having enough beef in their dish. Yeah. And when you mention of vegetable, it just took my mind. In fact, I started really saliving. I know that's how you will just prepare vegetable with crayfish. After taking it, you start sweating. I mean, you feel good. But some people cannot take it that way without enough. Some people said animals, And in a situation like that, you know what it means to go to the market, and this man maybe gives you 10,000 naira. Because his salary has not been increased. How can we cope with this?
I think before Madam will come in, she will be in a better position because they are home managers. But the reality there is that they run the packaging. It is not the amount of ingredients, the ability to, how to package meals, how to cook very well. You can, buy a little meat, not expensive. If you used to buy 5,000, I can buy 2,000 or 1,000.
With
I'm coming. No, you see, those you could do, you can chop them to little, chop them to little, and put in mix it with, pomo, and put a little. I mean, it's yes, those small stuff, but that the man is, and it's delicious. He won't complain about the big lumps. It's the reality, because he knows how much, yes, you can't go and do any magic. But I think as a home manager, you should be able to package the meal in a way that will be tasty, so he can be happy. I said, you will be excited, madam, sweet. With this small money, you're able to package it, he'll be excited. And he will understand that you're really, a home manager, and you're there to support him. So,
always we are talking about home management and home manager. Does it affect the size of food? Trying to cope with this harsh economy?
No. When I talk about issue of managing, it implies managing in a lot of things, and issue of management has a lot to do. But let's just zero it as. We're talking about being able to use the income you have to be able to provide what you can afford within the the limit of your income.
Yes, even talking about the size of food you eat is very important, because there are people who can sit at a place and eat 3 cups of gari. Finish it.
Nice.
The economy now, is there any adjustment?
The truth there is that humans have the ability to adaptation is part of our inbuilt, an inherent, ability that God has put in humans. Okay. So the issue there is that you can make up. If you usually eat a full loaf of bread, you eat half, and take water, and make it up, and you will not die for goodness sake. It's a matter of adaptation, about facing the real realities. Okay, if you cannot afford the 3 cups of this thing, and then so you should go and commit suicide. No.
And,
we can afford 3, can afford 1. Take water and make it up.
Okay.
And talking about bread, you look for bread now, the normal one we see out there is like 1,200.
Exactly.
Which
From 300,
sometimes
350 to
and
1,200.
sometimes it's not even enough for the family.
Exactly.
So instead of buying that loaf of bread, you can buy a packet of cabin biscuits, which is like 500 naira. For the children, the breakfast.
A packet of biscuit, which one? Cabin.
Yes.
That used to be, is this still 500
It's
naira?
500
Okay.
naira now. You can buy a packet of cabin biscuits for the children. I think like 4 children. It will be enough for them for breakfast. Like in a particular breakfast, it will be enough. But if you buy that bread of 1,200, they will still finish it.
Yeah.
So
And still not be satisfied.
honestly. So parents should learn how to cut down a little.
All right, let's just give our advice. How can we wrap it up? I want us to just practical about this, coping with this harsh economy.
I want to say this. For those who are, beginners and say you're starting a family, learn how and have a way of cutting down the number of children you have. In our time when we can have 5, 6, 7 is gone. Try and think about maybe max, maybe 3. Not 3, so you can be able to manage because the times are changing. That's the reality. You don't have the luxury of funds anymore. And then the other thing there is that the issue of laziness shouldn't be there. Oh, full-time housewife, that era is gone.
Okay.
And if you cannot get a white-collar job, learn a skill, and then you can make a lot of money to support the home. Don't leave the burden of funding and financing the home to the man. Yes. As a woman, you're a helper. That is the essence of being a wife. Do all you can to help your husband.
Let me come in there. Some men don't like their wives working. So what do you not tell them?
Those men, some of them, their problem is the issue of inferiority. Okay. There are men who don't like their wife to excel. So actually take a critical look. It's not because the man is so wealthy. I'm sure that every wealthy man will want the wife to be active because she has a potential, for goodness sake. She's not a dummy. There is something in her that you need to harness and make her happy. Every serious woman won't like to be a furniture in the house. Mm-hmm. Every day you are seated at home. No. She wants to venture. So most men who like their wife not to venture, they feeling, there is fear of intimidation. They don't want the woman to excel. They want competition. They want to be very, dictatorial, oppressive. I think it doesn't come in here at all. Allow your wife to excel and be happy. Add value to her. She didn't marry you to become, useless.
I want to particularly advise the women. There are a lot of things that you can do to assist the man. You must not stay at home and then begin to press the phone from morning till that phone can be useful. Even when you don't have a shop, you can market some products through the internet. There are a lot of things you can sell. You must not own a shop to be able to assist your family or assist your husband. You can sell little things online so that you don't have a shop. It's not an excuse. Okay. And the second advice is, please, women should stop putting a lot of pressure on the men. Check the society today. You understand that a lot of people are passing through high blood pressure. Don't make them do the things they cannot do. I've seen a woman who will always tell the husband, my children must go to private university. They must, and you know what? Sometimes they end up missing some sections because the man cannot afford the school fee. They stay at home. What is the need? Instead of allowing them retake the jump and then go into the ones the man can afford, you're putting pressure on men. So I want to talk to the women out there. Please, let's try and help these men. Whatever we can do to help the family, let's go ahead and do it. There are a lot of things you can market online. You can market jewelries, perfumes, anything that you can do. Please, let's stop putting pressure. Let's help them.
Yes, I agree with you. Please, let's help our husbands, unless you want to become a widow at this age. If not, please try as much as possible to be a helpmate to your husband, especially this time. I want to say thank you for being here and actually with your words of advice. So, having been with us, if you started with us, you will agree with me that for now you know what to do to make sure that your partner will live for you and your family will move forward. Remember, I always say it here that once we have peaceful homes, if I'm coming from a peaceful home, you're coming from a peaceful home, our society will be a better place for us to be. I am Chioma John. Till next week, we will still come your way with another topic. And I say to you, God bless you.